Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of TheNShow. My name is Narwin, as usual, your host for today. And yeah, this week episode we're gonna join with not one, not two, but three guests. So this week we're gonna have a lot of guests joining us, and yeah, as usual, stay tuned after the introduction to know more about our guests. Alright guys, welcome back. And yeah, so as I mentioned just now earlier, that we are joined today with three guests. So basically these three guests are all my friends from school. So without further ado, let's introduce them. Welcome guys. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Our first guest is Cheyenne. So Cheyenne has been in one of our episodes before, which is episode 9. And the second guest we have is Samila.
Hi.
Hi. And the
Nice to
last
be
guest
here.
and the last guest is Sanjita. Yeah,
Hello.
so it's a pleasure to have you guys on my show today. And yeah, without further ado, let's introduce the topic. So the topic for this episode is about peer pressure. Yeah, so peer pressure is like common among us, right? What are you guys up to recently? Like, with all the lockdown and we couldn't go to school. Like, what are you guys up to?
Online classes as usual.
Yeah, that's
How
one
about
thing.
The
Yeah.
rest. Yeah.
I haven't been doing much, honestly.
Yeah,
I
it's
have no
like,
motivation to actually get out of bed and study.
I mean, like pretty much lah. We are in online class basically because we come from the same school. But the thing is like, sometimes like I don't even join the classes.
Yes,
Yeah, some
Oh.
okay, but how you guys like coping with it?
I'm not a fan of it, honestly. I don't really. I would just. I have more motivation actually getting up and going to school. But like here
Yeah.
online classes, you just join it on your bed and you fall asleep. I'm not really a fan of it.
Yeah, I agree also with that.
I prefer school too. It's more
Yeah,
you get the environment, rather than
Yeah.
your bed.
correct. But I mean like it's because of like this lockdown thing that like we can do like hybrid lah. Means like both way also can. But actually like because of this like lockdown thing, right? A lot of thing actually, if you guys didn't realize, it's like going hybrid lah, basically. It's like podcasts also, like podcasts, it was a thing where people will meet in a place and they'll film. But like what we are doing now is like just like virtually like podcasts, and we can get connect with each other. Yeah. So I mean that's one thing. So other than that, you guys doing nothing, only studies lah.
Staying at home lah. Staying at home.
Pretty much.
Yeah, of course.
Sleeping lah.
Bye.
Yeah, sleeping.
Sleeping lah.
Of course lah, staying at home, right? You can't go out.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nothing much to do.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
So like
Hopefully this will get better.
maybe like you will lah, cause like I don't know, I'm not sure lah. Honestly, I have no expectation to it lah, because like we have been like this since like a year ago, more than a year ago actually. It's funny like how we expect like this year, like we're gonna be like belajar SPM, all right. But then end up like we are in a lockdown as well. But I think it's like much more worse than last year's scenario lah, basically. So
We
yeah,
haven't
that's
had
what.
exams for years.
Yeah, exactly, for like more than 1 year already.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Yeah, but during like last year lockdown, right? Like with all the like online learning stuff, right? So which basically, honestly, I must admit lah, I did not join lah. So when I came back to school, right? When I was holding my pencil, right, I was literally shivering. I can't even write. So it's that long that I didn't like touch a pen and paper and stuff. But doing well. I think still can lah. I mean, but trust me lah, this COVID thing is all gonna pass lah. So it's just like whatever you can do now, right? SPM is still gonna go on lah,
Yeah.
definitely must go on lah. So like in conjunction with our topic today, right, which is peer pressure, right? Do you guys have any like experience with it?
I would say everyone has in some ways. Maybe they don't realize it, but yeah, I have.
Like what was your experience with it?
Usually when in a group, I tend, even though I don't want to do something, I'll just tend to follow the group because I'm scared of saying no. I feel like they influence me in that way sometimes. I don't really like to break school rules or go out that much during school hours. Okay, when I was younger. Now, okay lah. When I was younger, I was
Okay.
really scared. And people would be like, oh, let's go DG, let's go out, let's go 7-Eleven. And I'll be so scared to go, but I still go because I'll be scared to say no to them also. So yeah,
Uh,
it's like one of those ways lah.
hey, but doesn't mean now you're not scared you can break school rules, right?
So yeah. Only during Coco I'll go out. Oh, good student.
Okay, Cheyenne, like what about you? Like, do you have like any experience with it?
Personally, I don't think so because I tend to fit in like with whoever, and yeah, so I don't think peer pressure would be a topic where I am like more experienced with it, but I don't think I have any experience with it personally. No.
Oh, Cheyenne, so you're a man of your own words, right? You stand strong, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you stand strong with what you believe in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like Sanita, what about you?
No, actually, I have not really had like these scenarios where I felt that I needed to do something in order to fit in, because I would say that's because of the people I'm surrounded by, the people I surround myself with. They're all very supportive, and I wouldn't call them bad influence or anything. So yeah,
Hmm.
I have not really been in that scenario.
Maybe you have lah, but it's like a good version of peer pressure lah.
Yeah.
Like let's say like 5 of your friends are studying, then definitely you feel like, oh shit, like I'm missing out,
Oh.
right? Depends on what type of thing that you're influenced by. You know, like if your friend like skip school and you go and skip school, then that's another story lah, right?
Yeah.
What do you think like causes all this? Do you think is it like they want to try to fit in, or like they fear to missing out, like they FOMO basically they FOMO lah, or like self-doubt? Like what do you guys think is like the cause of it?
I think it's just the fear of fitting in, especially like when you enter Sekolah Menengah, it's a whole like different environment. You're more exposed to stuff, so you have this constant urge to want to be a part of everything, basically.
I think it is same as Anjita, the need to fit in, the need to get acceptance. Because most of the time when you enter Sekolah Menengah, you don't know people and you meet people. You see like a certain people and you're like, oh, I want to join them, or I want to be friends with them. But then most of the time you don't know how. So you end up doing stuff that you not really sure or not really want to, just to like make them notice you or make them like take interest in you most of the time. I think so. That's what I think lah.
Yeah, like you want to stand out among them, right?
Yeah, I think our school, among like so many students, yeah, I would say yes.
I think because like if you don't love yourself, and if you don't know like what are the things that you want to get into, or like what are the things that are right or wrong, so you just tend to just follow the
crowd lah. The
group
crowd.
yeah, the crowd
The crowd, right? Well, but that was a one great answer. Lack of self-love.
Yeah.
But I think I would like to add one more thing which is maybe lack of self-identity. You're not strong enough, right, to have a belief that know that you are right. In the sense I feel like, because like imagine like let's say you have like 10 friends, right? 10 friends and 9 of them said they want to go to the left. Because they like I don't know lah, there's something with left lah. You did like your own like research and everything, right? You still feel that right is still the way. So people who have like this kind of like strong like what Cheyenne say, like self-love, or what I mentioned just now, which is like your own identity, right? People who don't have strong with it, right, definitely will go to the left also. There's no difference with it. So I think that's one thing. Which brings to the next question also, which is like how to avoid it.
I mean, like what you and Cheyenne just said, you need to have this very strong belief system.
You need to figure out who you are and what you are okay with, first of all. Like sometimes you'll be okay with some of the stuff they do, and sometimes you won't be okay with it. So it's like high school is like a process of growing up. I wouldn't say like you definitely have to know, so you can learn, you can make mistakes and stuff. But once you know what you want, you shouldn't be afraid to like voice it out, no matter what people think. And once you do, I think you'll be okay. So,
Yeah. But I think yeah, like one point I really like what you say, right, which is like the high school and stuff, But I think like high school, right, it's like one of the most like important stage, like if you guys think about it. It's where like you make like decisions in your life, or like who you surround yourself with, like like in order to like grow to the next stage. So today
Yeah.
you're surrounded by 10 monkeys, right? Then definitely you'll be one of the monkeys also. Like simple as that.
I think spend time with yourself, lah. Like try and do the things that you love the most. Yeah, I think that's it, lah.
Like when you say like spend time, right? Actually, this brings me to one thought, lah, which is like, do you guys enjoy like being alone, or like do
Yeah.
you guys need like having like 10 friends together, or like five? I don't know how many friends, lah, but yeah, which like do you guys like prefer to be alone, or not prefer to be alone? I would say like, I mean, like, do you guys okay with being alone?
I'm okay with being alone. I love being alone. Because like I can do stuff that I want most of the time. I would say for me, I am quite insecure. So like when I am alone, I feel okay. I feel content and I just do stuff, whatever I want. But when I'm in a group of people, I often like struggle to talk. Or like because it's with you, you're my friends, I can talk. But when you put me in a crowd, I can't say anything and stuff like that. So yeah.
I honestly am not sure. I wouldn't mind being alone, but I also love being around my friends. It's just the positive energy that they give off that, which I also technically feed off. So I do prefer, sometimes I prefer being alone and sometimes I do prefer being with my friends. So I can't really choose.
Yeah, yeah, but it's true like what you say, like like being alone gives us like a certain vibe, and where being with a group of friends gives us another certain vibe. Where sometimes like it doesn't mean like when we are alone, right, we can be happy straight, right? It can be also like when we are
Yeah.
alone, right, suddenly like we feel like all this like stress, all this
Very
like
sad.
emotional all are piling up. So yeah, like
Yeah, I
what you
kind
say,
of agree with Sans. I
yeah,
agree with
like
Sans also. Like sometimes you need your friends.
yeah, like the vibe, I think it's important, like the vibe, the whole vibe of it, right? If you don't have the vibe, right, then it's gone, really gone. Right.
For me, I think yeah, I am okay, but I also like love to be around with my friends. But to be honest, I really love to be alone most of the time because I get to be myself, do the things that I like and I love the most.
I think like like being alone, right? It's much easier for those who like have something to do, like some passion to do. Like I mean
Yeah, I
like if
agree
you're
with that as well.
yeah, I mean like if you're so free, right? And then you go and be alone, right? I don't know like this just my thoughts are. I mean like if let's say today you're so free, right? You have nothing to do, like literally nothing. Then you go and be alone, right? It will affect you emotionally. I don't know why, I just think it will. Because like you're too free, right? You're not
Correct,
even
correct.
sure.
I
You're
agree.
not even sure what you're going to do now. And then after that, after some time, right? You just feel like you waste a lot of time. Then suddenly like all this like emotional starting to get out, why am I a waste man or something?
That's kind of true, actually.
Yeah,
If you spend like way too much time alone, you start to notice that you are wasting time, and then you
Yeah.
put pressure on yourself to do something, and
Yeah.
then you stress like why you not do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you're right.
But I mean like
Certain
yeah, if I spend time alone, I would just like, read. Other than reading, I would like be editing my video or doing some content. If not, I would be dancing. That's what I would do. If not, like, most of the time I won't be alone. Because I mean like it's
now,
important also like to develop like social. But I mean now no choice all now, right? Now can online then like what we are doing, like basically like socializing,
Mm-hmm.
having like the social skill, right? It's very important. Do you guys like sometimes like feel very awkward? Like we just like don't
yes.
know what to like we just don't know like what to talk. We just like listen here, then like listen there.
Most of the time for me, I'm just happy listening to my friends because they're really funny and we would just be laughing most of the time. So I'm cool with it. They would say
Right.
something funny and then we'd be laughing.
sometimes I think it's dependent on the crowd that you are with, lah. Like if you are around with your friends that genuinely care about you, I think it will be a nice time, and I don't think I'll be awkward, lah. But if I'm with a group of friends that I am not very close with, then I will feel like I'm somewhat kind of alone in that particular situation.
And do you guys like, like join any like club or society like to have like a different circle of friends? Not sure about you guys lah, but I have lah, but it's not related to school lah, which is outside. Where I have like my own like dance friends and a lot of friends lah. So not a lot of friends, but a lot of like different circle of
Groups, right?
friends. Yeah, different groups lah.
Mhm.
And which like makes me realize like it's so different lah with like different age gap that is in the circle, right? So the things they talk, the content they talk is also different.
The only club that I've actually like joined and been very involved in are the clubs in school, they give during Coco. But
Mm-hmm.
most of the time I've already met all the people I've already been friends with all the people that are in the clubs. So when I join these clubs, it's just that our relationship kind of improves. It doesn't, it's not from scratch, it just improves.
I do have a few friends that are not from our school. And honestly, when I talk to them, right, they have different opinions and different ideas on a lot of the topics we talk about. And it's really refreshing to hear that sometimes. And yeah, I do enjoy their company because sometimes when you are in different people's company, right, you get to talk about a lot of other stuff and you get to communicate and see how they view the world.
I think like what you say is important, like, which is like to accept people's opinion as well. As we are in like the bigger group, right? The more bigger it gets, right? The more like opinion like it will come out, right? Like
A more
I might
different
say
opinion,
yeah, correct.
Mhm.
Like I might say different thing and you might say different thing and maybe like Sanjita might say another thing and so like
Then like
But we have to
conflict lah.
accept it in the end
Yeah.
of the day.
Conflict, right?
You gotta accept it. This is how they see the world.
Yeah, this is
their
how they see the
opinion.
Depends
world.
if you're hanging out with mature people lah.
Yeah,
If you're hanging out,
correct.
Some people will
correct.
fight lah.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, correct lah. Do you guys think right? Social media right influence like you guys?
I think a bit, yeah, for me.
Like in what aspect?
Like when I scroll through social media and stuff, like the amount of workout pics and like like
Okay.
this kind of niche comes up in my feed a lot. So like from there, I kind of will have like the motivation to like do
Workout.
that and workout lah, yeah.
Actually, yeah, I agree with Cheyenne because like using social media, especially like TikTok, you pick up a lot of phrases.
Correct.
And the way you dress, the music you listen to is all everything is basically influenced. I feel like during this MCO when I didn't go out much and I spent a lot of time on social media, I feel like my personality changed like a bit.
Your what
The way I see-
personality?
Yeah, the way I see things, my behavior, the way I dress, everything has a bit like kind of changed.
I kind of agree with Sanjita too. In some ways, it has influenced like what types of music, what types of entertainment you want to watch. Obviously, it has led to a lot of new stuff. But yeah, I think it's pretty much that. But sometimes got lah some things that like I see that I don't agree with and all. But yeah.
But guys, you have to know one thing, which is like, we are really lucky that even though like we are on a lockdown, right? But we are still like we still have our phones lah. So which like, I don't know, it just makes things more comfortable, right?
I guess social media is like a gateway for us to see the world outside, even though we're in the house.
Yeah.
It's like a bit of comfort.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like an escape from a reality.
Very time consuming.
It's it like time flies so fast like that.
Especially on TikTok.
Yeah.
Jeez, like TikTok. It's crazy, man. Like, like everyone's on TikTok right now and just crazy like that. But sometimes I do think that, like social media like has too much of information. Too much. Until like sometimes until like sometimes like we are even confused. End up like we are confused. We all know like what is the negative side of like spending time on like social media lah, which is like we will procrastinate our work, make us lazy and make us don't want to do things lah. But how do you guys think, right, that social media, right, or like all this like internet access, right, has actually helped us with our improving our quality of life?
I could say it gives more awareness for us of what's happening in the world. And when we have more awareness, we know that we should take few precautions. Like let's say COVID-19, right? We know the cases in our country is high right now. So we all stay at home and we all mostly do our tuition and whatever it is by online. I wouldn't say social media, but I'd say like some of the other apps like Grab, Grab food and stuff like that allows us to order food without actually going out, which is also very helpful nowadays. Order groceries or clothes or whatever we need,
All right.
which is really helpful.
I think information is one thing. Yeah.
Mm.
I think that's like the main, like the strongest point to me, I could feel is like, information. It's like fingertips. Basically, you can just Google anything. Right.
Like Sharmila said earlier, you have your services, your Grab Food, your Food Panda, which is very useful, during the pandemic especially. And then, okay, for me, like personally, I use social media a lot for entertainment. I don't think that's only for me. That's actually for like majority of the people that use social media. It just gives you a lot of information, like you said.
Yeah. But you see like TikTok, right? Other than like it gives us like entertainment, right? Sometimes like, we might scroll and we see like some educational posts, like some maths hack or something. I don't know about you guys, but I saw a lot. There's like, maths hack, like how to solve this like algebra or how to solve this like, I don't know, any maths equation.
There
but
was a sejarah one also.
Yeah, correct.
That one was really good.
Correct. So it's like everything basically, yeah. That's why I say like, sometimes like we forgot like we have all this privilege, right? Then we take it for granted. And because of this, right, it makes us very impatient sometimes. Because like we know that okay, we can get like it now, everything like now, instant.
We take it for granted most of the time because we know it's there and we know it's not gonna go anywhere. So we just delay our time from taking it.
That's why we need to delay our gratification sometimes I feel like, among like teenagers nowadays, because we grow up in like the information technology like era where we straight grow up in an iPad on our faces, when we're kids. Right.
Don't get me started on the kids nowadays.
Nowadays lagi bad.
Yeah, nowadays, so yeah, everything is evolving basically,
Yeah, my cousin that's like 8 has his own laptop and his own phone at 8. I only got like my first phone when I was at 12, 13.
I got my first phone when I was 16.
Oh.
I beat all of you. Okay. I beat all of you.
It's different for everyone, right?
For every generation, I guess.
But I mean like 8 years old or what, it's still the same. I bet like, when we are 8, right, we are exposed to this kind of like gadgets also. And I feel like, all this like gadget, right, actually, right, replace TV already. Because I don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah, it's always like Netflix.
Yeah, it's always like Netflix. Yeah, maybe like we don't watch TV already. I don't know, since like last year I didn't watch already. Honestly, that long. Because I couldn't remember when was the last time,
Laptop and tablets and phone. Same thing only, right?
Yeah, I remember Netflix, YouTube, when I was like 10, 11, we, you guys remember like iCarly, Victorious, and all those shows that were on Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
I come back from school, Nickelodeon, I do my homework, revision, this and that. And then, I lie down for a while and I wake up every day at like 4 and I'll go to the TV and, I'll watch. I was like such a marathon.
Correct. Like last time we would wait in front of the TV.
They wake up early morning all just to watch a certain cartoon.
That's right. And I also feel that, like mobile gadgets, right? It becomes more like a need nowadays.
Especially with COVID online.
Yeah,
most
especially
kids
right.
So young, they have phones, have tablets because they need to study.
Yeah. They need to
call their parents, order food or whatever.
Correct. And you see, when it becomes essential, right? We must also know that not everyone is like, as privileged as maybe 4 of us, which, we have like all the gadgets, right? Like those who are in the rural area, right? Like during now, right, it must be a very hard time for them to like, catch up with like schools. And...
Do you remember like the Sabah Sarawak stories?
Yeah.
They went up to the tree.
Yeah, they went up to a tree.
To study.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dedication.
Right. Back to the topic, like peer pressure, right? Do you guys think it's like it has been like very normalized nowadays? It's just like, okay,
Yes.
very normal.
Extremely, yeah. I mean, sometimes we don't even know it's happening until like we look back at our life and like, oh, this happened and that happened, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's also like the like what the adults like told us when we were younger. Peer pressure is, you know, someone coming after you, offering like drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
They don't really talk about
Influencing you,
this
lah.
minimal. Yeah, it's like someone comes up to you and like you know you don't smoke, you don't drink, you're not cool, and all of that. But it's way more than that. Like Sharmila's mentioned.
It's not very direct, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So
it'll be like very indirect or very subtle, maybe. Because that's what we heard. It's like, oh, people come and they give you this, you say no. But it's not like that. They're like, it's not like that.
Yeah.
You see
yeah,
people
it's
and then
not
be like, oh, I want to do.
Yeah. But I think right, one more thing is like self-awareness. You
Mm.
have to know what you have to do, basically, right? For example, like
Actually,
say
you have to know what you're getting yourself into, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know,
Correct.
smoking. But you have to know like smoking will damage your health or potentially,
Yeah.
I don't know, ruin your body or something. But if you still do it, then it's your choice, lah.
Yeah,
You know
correct.
what you're getting yourself into, so but got
Correct,
like people who don't know, they just do and stuff like that.
Cause like what I said just now, which is like, you know, it has been like so normalized. It's like, yeah. But actually we can tell it like in a person where, you know, like today they might be like this type. Then we know like, okay, they are this type of like personality lah. Maybe like next few months, right? They mix with another bunch of friends, right? And then like they totally
And you can
change.
tell
Right?
they're different.
Yeah, you can tell it, you know.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
can look.
you can just spot the difference.
Yeah, correct.
Their personality would have changed. They would be do stuff that they don't want to do before.
Yeah. Then maybe like, you know, they have a high ego, you know.
Maybe they get influenced by it. They don't really know what they're getting themselves into, but they want to fit in lah. So they just spot je.
You know, with all the like technologies now, right? Do you guys still actually read? Like for Samila, I know she reads because me and her share like, you know, our book list and stuff Like what about like, you know, Sanjita and like Cheyenne, like do you guys like read?
Cheyenne doesn't read. I know that.
Honestly,
I tried to, but it was just
She was so bad.
I was bad. I
No,
mean,
but when
I tried to, but I mean, I tried, but it just failed. So I can't do anything if it just fails.
What book you try to read?
Some romance book.
Yeah.
What romance?
Yeah, some fiction romance book.
Yeah.
Then
fiction romance.
definitely, then you cannot read one because like you're not, you know, I don't know lah. It just feels like I just feel like, you know, the first book that you read, right? It must be something like simple. Correct. Like, you must start something like Diary of Wimpy K. Then you know, like slowly you bring yourself.
Geronimo Stilton, something simple.
Get the momentum.
No, when I was younger, I read a lot. Like in my Sekolah Rendah phase, like I used to go. You guys know the Big Bang Wolves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go to there every year and I'll buy like a whole bunch of books. And I used to even like exchange the books with my friends. You know that whole thing where you bring books to school and then you exchange like the ones you don't have.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. So, yeah.
It's just the same where this concept is just the same, like, you know, like how do you want to read a book? Like whether you want it to be like physical or like an ebook or like a Kindle. Because we can read like through a lot of like, I don't know, a lot of medium basically like we got like, you know, for Apple users, right, we have like, you know, our own like iBook or something To me some books I prefer it to be physical like those like very thick. Some not all
I prefer all my books physical. I don't like staring at a screen and reading. It's not the same because I have to spend more time in front of a computer. The whole point of reading for me is to not spend time with my gadgets. So online books just defeats the point. So
makes sense.
I like having a book in my hand. Yeah.
But in terms of like convenience wise, right? I think like, you know, Amazon Kindle and iPad or I think that would be like much more convenient lah, because it's like really thin.
E-books, it's cheap and it's convenient, which are great. But then you're spending, for me lah, you're spending more time. You're ruining your eyes or whatever. So yeah, it's not for me.
Right.
I prefer physical. Physical books are more expensive. You
Yeah,
have to agree with that.
it's very expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive. But just now, like, you know,
Unless you
Sanjita, yeah, but just now, you know, like Sanjita and Cheyenne mentioned about what Diary of a Wimpy Kid and like Jeremy Stilton brings me back memories, basically, because like
That's
last
a
time,
really,
yeah,
really
I think I
great
have,
book.
yeah, I have like the whole collection of like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I have Geronimo Stilton. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I
I-
borrowed and I read.
I have both of it and Doc Diaries, and also like Captain Underpants. Have you all heard of that?
No.
No, that one I have like a whole collection like at the back there.
That's so nice.
Geronimo
Time doesn't
Stilton, yeah, it was one of the great like childhood. It brings a lot of like imagination. Yeah,
Yeah, their stories are really great.
yeah.
They write with fantasies, sometimes like with other like cultures or like other beliefs, other myths. Really fun to read.
Do you still read?
Not really lah.
I think it's like, you know, like when we grew up, right? We tend to, of course, like our priority changes, right?
Yeah.
Then we won't have
Yeah.
time to read. We don't have time to read, I guess. Right. But we feel that we should read, but don't know, it's just something that don't make us want to read.
Like last time reading used to excite me, but now it doesn't. I kind of dread reading. Maybe it's because like, you know, I'm reading like different types of books that I have not been before. But like for now, like I feel like last time reading was my entertainment, and then now I have, you know, like my phone, my gadgets, and have like, you know, other work to do. So
See, that's why it brings us back to like, you know, just how you said, what you're saying, that like, you know, gadgets like replace everything.
Yeah.
It's just like everything like you can find. You want entertainment also got, you want like education also got, everything also got. Like, you know how when we grew up, right? Maybe when I don't know about you guys lah, but do you guys have like, you know, anxiety, right? Thinking about what are you guys going to do in the future?
Yeah. So common now.
Hmm.
Like there's so many options, you know, and then you have to pick one and you're gonna pursue it. And even though there's like, you know that you can change, it still doesn't help. It still makes me anxious. It's not easy for you, Narwin. You already figure out what you want to do.
Maybe when we are at our age now, like 17, right? I think we tend to get a lot of like this question, like, you know, what are we gonna do? You know, like this year is my like last year of high school. Next year, what am I gonna study for like college, and you know what my future gonna be look like? Yeah. Do you guys have any of those thoughts? Like right now?
Because like the
Yeah.
past like 11 years, right? It was just you go to school, all your subjects are chosen for you, and you just, you know, study that, and then you're done. Yeah, and then you just move on to the next year. But now it's like it's your choice, and I'm honestly I'm still not sure what I want to do.
Me neither.
But it's a very like it's tough if you don't know what you're gonna do. But if you know, like if you're like you, and you kind of have like already an idea, then you'll be fine.
What about you, Shane?
I mean, I also like have a plan, but I also like am scared of the challenges and the things that I have to face lah. But sometimes it's scary, and sometimes it's you feel great because you think that you have the kind of future that you want, that you plan. But sometimes I get scared.
I think it's more like uncertainty, is it?
Yeah. It's like even though you have the plan, sometimes it doesn't go right. It takes a few bumps in the road, you know. So you have to try and overcome
that.
Yeah.
I think, right, because the problem of this, right, you see, is that we plan, right? We know that, okay, we are good at planning. Like let's say Cheyenne, okay, maybe like you plan already, like what you're gonna do. But because that is just a plan, right? Then you haven't started it yet. You know, like taking the first step into it, into the plan that actually you plan, right? So that's why you're scared, because that, you know, you haven't even like step out and try the plan that actually you mastered for. Maybe that's why lah, because
I
you
should think
don't
so like that.
It's
you
just
don't
all
like
very
yeah
theoretical right now, you know. You were just talking about it, but then one day you're gonna actually have to go and do it.
yeah
You're gonna
yeah,
have to go and do it properly. Like
and
there's
it's like so soon already.
uncertainties.
Yeah, it's like so soon
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like last time when we were like primary school, right? We were thinking, right, how would Form 5 look like? But now it's a time. It's
Totally
a time.
unexpected lah.
Yeah.
Totally unexpected.
That's why there was this quote, right, that goes, right, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. Think about it, right? It's actually make a lot of sense, right? See, let's say we don't take much, let's say we don't take 10 years ago. Let's say we take like 2-3 years ago. If during that time, right, we were to like think of something, right? Maybe now that we have an idea of what we're doing already. I'm not sure but yeah, but because of this quote, like reminded me about this. Yeah.
So in Form 1, I was like, okay, I'll decide what I want to do when I get to Form 5. I'll decide what course I want to take when I get to Form 5, and it's already Form 5, and I'm still like unsure of exactly what I want to do. I mean, I have like a rough idea, but it's just going into like the specifics.
I think right somehow right, it's because of this right, it maybe lead us to a new opportunity that we don't know It's because that the path that we choose, we are not sure Sometimes it's just like that But definitely, to me, it's better to plan out because that this is what you want. So when you know what you want, right, I'm not sure, I wouldn't say that you won't have a doubt, but I would say that you are more confident in that way You're more confident in what you do, and also that you put more effort in what you do because that choice you make is yours and you're responsible for it. That's just how I feel about it because like I realized all this right since before I took like PT3 I'm not sure about you guys realized like the importance of like planning out not sure, maybe that time like I failed a lot of subjects back then okay, then it made me realize okay, I really cannot like stay in this forever so yeah, I made some changes and okay, still surviving right now. I mean, yeah,
I
it's
think
been
after SPM,
mm-hmm.
until we get a result, the best thing to do is probably read, research a lot, and see what we want to do. What we are interested in, and actually like figure out the path and the specifics and everything.
Yeah.
I like Sanjita. I have a rough idea, but I'm not sure if I want to do or don't want to do.
But I think it's okay as long as your guys like work hard I guess. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut honestly. Right? Whatever like whatever subject that we study, right? It's all like benefit There's no such thing as like bad subject or or subject that is wasting our time. I don't think there's any subject is like that because anyhow it's like anyhow it's just like it's education, right? So it just depends like what we said earlier like Samila, where with perspective, like some students might like this subject, some students might be okay with like biology, and some students might like like numbers more. So it's different yeah.
Every subject's gonna help even if you don't like, let's say there's someone in science stream and when they go college they don't want to pursue science, want to go arts or something.
That's
the science
fine.
subjects they studied will still help them. They still have general knowledge.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Actually, it won't like you won't lose anything. It's still knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And like some of the skills, right, that you learn from the subject, right? This is the skill that you can't learn in other subjects. Not sure like let's say like physics for example, you have to like estimate this and find this and that. Maybe it's just for physics.
You study laws.
Yeah. Law the Newton law, like what is free fall, gravitational force and all this, like why the apple fall down this way, not up way, right? Yeah.
I think that most students realize that it's not a waste, but then they're still scared. They'll be like, how do I say this? Let's say they take a certain subject. Let's say they take biology, but then they don't want to be a doctor. But then in a corner of their head, they'll think, oh, I already studied this for 2 years. It'll be a waste if I don't study anything medical. I think that most students have that thought, and they should know that it's okay to like not pursue it, because it's better to do whatever you're interested in and that you love rather than force yourself to do something.
Yeah, like everyone have their own time limit, I guess. Like your own time pace. Like someone might find what they love maybe at the age of like 30 or 40 years old. only they found out like, oh, actually I love like drawing or something like that.
I
Yeah.
should do this.
Yeah, I should do
Fine,
this
it's
like,
the
you know,
same,
when
but
when I'm at like 30
the
years
best
old.
thing about now is that whatever age you are, you can still go back to school and
Yeah,
you can still
correct.
study
Correct.
and pursue whatever you want.
Yeah.
Which is a really great opportunity.
And I think like now like you know our age, right? We shouldn't waste our time much, basically, because like now it's the time like the quote I say like, you know, like 10 years ago was the best time to plant a tree. The second best time is now. So now it's the best time to plant the tree. And you guys have to always keep in mind, like, you know, like time flies.
I think like
Time-
that's why there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on what you want to do now because you don't want to start again later. I mean, even though that's fine, but it's just, you know, you don't really get
Yeah.
to fully
Correct.
enjoy the whole experience.
Correct. Time flies, but the great news is, right, we are the pilot. So basically means like we are in control of all our times. Yeah. We are the pilot. Yeah. Yeah, guys. I think that wraps up for this episode, you know, with our podcast. You know, hope you guys enjoy this session. Right. And yeah,
We did.
and hope you guys like, you know, listening out there also can now have fun listening to us talking with just like, you know, school friends, just catching up, you know, random catch up and just talk about anything goes. Yeah. And also guys, be sure to, you know, follow our social media and do follow my friends too. Okay, I'll leave their social media at the description below. And yeah, as usual guys, see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye guys.
Bye. Bye.